Welcome back. Funding for hurricane relief. President Trump got a first-hand look at storm-ravaged Puerto Rico yesterday and told Fox News that the island's $74 billion of debt will be wiped out. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan said yesterday that FEMA will need more money to help storm-ravaged areas recover from Hurricane Harvey, Irma, and Maria.
These hurricanes are so extraordinary that we already blew through the rainy day fund that we have at FEMA for typical disasters, and we're going to have to do more emergency spending in the disaster relief fund. That means we're going to have more response to fill the FEMA accounts and some other accounts to make sure that we can respond to the hurricanes.
And the White House is expected to request a $29 billion disaster aid package for victims today to send to Congress. $16 billion of those funds will be given to FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program, according to Reuters. Joining us right now is FEMA's Deputy Administrator for Protection and National Preparedness, Dr. Danielle Kaniewski. Dr. Danielle, good to see you. Thanks very much for weighing in this morning. How will FEMA use that money?
Sure. Well, there's two types of funding that you just mentioned. One is the Disaster Relief Fund. And the DRF funds those major disasters that FEMA is currently supporting, whether it be from Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, or Maria. And then the second one is the National Flood Insurance Program. National Flood Insurance Program is currently $30 billion in debt, and that's the fund that pays out claims to those homeowners who have flood insurance through us.
Doctor, we're seeing, unfortunately, Puerto Rico become heavily politicized, but one of the situations is figuring out where do we go from here? What lessons do we take? I know it's still fresh, but how do we prepare for a situation like Puerto Rico where the infrastructure is really dilapidated, it's hard to get to, it's an island, so getting in and out and getting people there, especially when it comes to relief workers, how do we move forward from this to learn for the next one?
You're right. There were many challenges, and we certainly have been learning lessons from this particular disaster. As you mentioned, one, it's an island, very logistically challenging to access, especially given the situation we faced early on with the air traffic control system being down. We were not able to get flights in to support those initial responders and those initial commodities that were already on the island or nearby. Second, as you mentioned, the infrastructure was very weak. It's not a resilient infrastructure like you would see here in the U.S. mainland. Third, those responders and those government officials who we rely upon to support our federal efforts were simply not available. They became victims themselves. So in Houston, it was a terrible disaster, but government services were continuing to be provided, and FEMA was supplementing those. What we're seeing in Puerto Rico is we're not supplementing. In many cases, we're supplanting. We're filling in that gap that would normally be provided by local services, and that is a huge challenge.
Yeah, it sure is. Daniel, thanks very much for joining us this morning. We'll keep watching.